Let's talk about Twitter and Elon Musk. This in the Express.
Yeah, Elon Musk suspends Twitter takeover, sending shares plummeting after demanding probe. And basically, we're talking about Elon Musk, 92.7 million followers. When Elon talks, the world listens, and he's decided to step back from this takeover. And by doing so, maybe cynically or not cynically, shares have been plummeting for Twitter. And it's all about him deciding potentially how many spam bots are there on Twitter, how many real people or those...
So what is a spam bot?
Well, I don't want it to happen because I would lose a lot of my followers.
You're going to keep those people?
Yeah. It's false information. That's essentially what, you know... You've
Fake accounts.
Fake accounts.
So you're being followed by something that doesn't exist?
So you can't advertise to that market because they're not a real person, right?
Right. But they can get on board if you use them in the right way to... use the message or go in a narrative that they want to. But I feel like with this, we need to ask the spam bots what they want to do in it. But basically, Elon Musk has got this situation where he wants to take over Twitter, but he's put it on hold. And is it a cynical move by him to get a cheaper Twitter?
I think it's a little bit more obvious than that. I mean, you said when Elon speaks, the truth is that the value of stocks change, right? And you have to note, of course, he has the 92.7 million followers. So what I really think he's doing is testing the markets to see what he can get away with. There's no reason that he couldn't investigate these spam bots or the 5%. Private.
I mean, some people would say, go figure. It's obvious that at least 5% of the accounts are spam bots. You probably don't even need to check that. It's a given, isn't it?
I feel like he's testing the waters, and I think they're also looking at he's lost some. His Tesla shares have shrunk by 38 billion, I believe. So he may not have that money.
Well, they're worried that he'll be concentrating on Twitter and not building enough cars because, I mean, this guy's got SpaceX, Tesla, and he's thinking of taking on Twitter. What about the argument that if he doesn't buy Twitter, that's bad news for free speech?
Is he going to let Donald Trump back on? That's my question. Because there's how free does speech need to be? Like, do you free enough to march it down to the Capitol to start some trouble?
Tom, what do you think?
It's the risk of further incitement of violence. That's what happened in the US Capitol, January 6th, that riot, and that's why Donald Trump was taken off it. Elon Musk believes in, extremely rare that someone should be banned for life. There can be reformists. People can change. But I think in that free speech and on Twitter, it can be a dangerous ground and the wrong messages can get out there.
92.7 million.
Yeah. But Elon Musk is able to do that by just posting one tweet and it changes the stock market.
I hear what you're saying about the Capitol riots, which was the true low point in American history. And I'm no Donald Trump cheerleader, but Elon Musk's argument is that if you keep Trump off Twitter, the hard right, the nutters, the extremists, will just join him on another platform. And that actually what you want is
and then he can't capitalize.
Well, the argument is that you create, more echo chambers. And his argument is that Twitter is like the town square, and this is where everyone should debate things. And let Trump do his tweets and let him be exposed to public opinion, rather than go off to a fringe operation who could be more toxic.
I mean, give me a break. You think Trump is sitting there responding to 200,000 responses to whatever name thing he decides to tweet? I mean, he lives in an echo chamber. He creates one for himself.
What do you think about that argument, though? I mean, that's Musk's argument. I don't think he's a fan of Trump, but he thinks it was a big mistake cancelling Trump from Twitter permanently.
I think maybe Elon Musk could be the answer for those... basically, when it comes down to Twitter, how do you control that free speech? How do you control that Wild West? And by not having Donald Trump in there, you're giving him a platform somewhere else, exactly like you say. So have him there and then bring in sanctions that Elon Musk will have power to potentially do with Twitter if he changes it. I don't know how he's going to do that.
He has the power. Why shouldn't a human rights lawyer be looking at something like this? Who is Elon Musk to be making these big decisions?
Yeah, well, I suppose what he wants to do is just lift the parameters around free speech. I think his argument is anything goes that's within the law. I think that's his view. Whereas what you've seen from platforms like Twitter is that they've gone beyond the law into what they're calling misinformation, which is quite a subjective term, isn't it?
Well,
yeah, how do you control it?
They can manage whoever they want on their platforms. That's their prerogative.
Yeah, a very interesting debate. Well, we watch with interest whether he will get that share price down and whether he is, as Dana says, just being rather canny.